Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh. Please tell me this. Oh my gosh. It didn't record? Welcome, everyone, back to this new episode of the new year 2025, My Solo Chronicles. And I teased about this episode like way back in like the very beginning, which was like after the first episode. Oh, I'm going to have my friend Tiffany come on. Well, we did the interview, and now we're going to have to redo it because someone didn't press record properly, which that would be me. So, welcome, Tiff. Welcome back to recording this episode all over again.
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm glad it was worth doing over again.
so, so it was so crazy. Just a little side note before we begin. It was just like we did the whole entire episode. I was for sure that I caught it. Let's just say me and Zoom are not best friends, but whatever. So I was like, Tiff, we got to do this all over again because I didn't capture us. So this time I'm bringing you the episode that I teased about earlier. And I want to say I was really happy and I'm excited to bring Tiffany's story to everyone because I think it's amazing because there's like three of us that are like really, really like I call them my sister friends. So it's myself, Tiffany, and our other friend Barbara. And I think out of the three of us, I'm the most adventurous where I'll just get up and just go. I don't care. I'm just gonna get up and go. And so I think Tiff comes in second. So when I found out that she actually traveled out of the state where she lives, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And I remember it was something, Tiff, you said it that kind of just like this light bulb went off in my head. You said to me, you go, Mama just needed a break. That
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like you said, I was like, what does that even mean? You was like, I needed a break. I told my boys, I'm just gonna go away. So, Tiff, tell us, where did you go? Where did you travel to and when?
I went to Charleston, South Carolina in March 2023.
Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Now, what was the reason behind traveling to Charleston? Because I heard Charleston is absolutely amazing, first off.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. I had been before very briefly catching a cruise out of their port.
Okay.
So that was just an overnight stay. But this time I went for a women's retreat that
Okay.
was being held there just to kind of get some of my goals fleshed out,
Okay.
kind of redo and reimagine some of my goals
Okay.
to suit where I am in my life now.
Okay.
So I decided to do that, and it, I have my son's 10.
Okay.
I have not been on a solo trip since he was born.
This is true, y'all. She has not. She's been a full-time mommy and wife.
We just travel together. We go a lot of places.
Right.
It's just, like I said, I always have the family in tow. This
Okay.
time I said, hey, I'm going to Charleston in March. Here's when I'll be gone. I'm getting ready to go. And, it was a months of notice. I think I decided to go in maybe November or December.
Okay.
The year previous. So they had some time to build up to it. And
right.
I said, you guys will be fine on your own for, 3 or 4 days.
Okay. And that just leads right into my next question. So how long exactly was your stay in Charleston?
I'm pretty sure it was about 4 to 5 days, maybe.
Okay.
I'm this kind of person, if I'm traveling to do something specifically, like that's timed and that has events that I need to be to, I like to go a day before, just so in case my flight gets delayed, I don't end up coming in late and missing things on that first day.
Exactly.
So I got there the day before and settled into my Airbnb and just kind of got settled in and, ordered groceries and whatever I needed to do that day before.
Okay. Yeah. And when you said Charleston, I mean, I had heard of Charleston before and I've never been to Charleston, South Carolina. I've been to North Carolina, but not Charleston. And I know that they have they're just famous for quite a bit of things, but I had to go and do a little bit of research. And I was like, I had no idea that's where Fort Sumter was, number
Oh
one.
yeah.
And it was just like, wow, okay, they have a lot of stuff going on there. So with you going for the retreat, I know when you go for a retreat, there's an itinerary that you're gonna do, which I'm pretty sure is what your group had, correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So was there ever a time where after a day or two of things going on that you were able to kind of venture outside of?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It was a kind of a loose itinerary.
Okay.
Some of us went exploring together.
Okay.
Others broke off from the group and said, "Hey, I'm going to go do this,"
Okay.
or do whatever. So it was a very fun. It was structured, but at the same time, we could go off on our own for a lot of. There was a lot of time for that.
Okay. Were now what were some of the sites that you were able to go to and visit?
Well, Charleston is really walkable.
Okay.
So it's almost kind of like, of course, not the feel of New York City, but it's one of those places where you can just keep walking and walking and not realizing how far you've walked.
Right.
And you're just looking around at everything. And, it's just really cool to be able to do that in the city. You can't really do that where we're from.
Exactly.
So.
That is so true. Yeah.
Only in select places. So that's what was really nice and refreshing.
Exactly. And you definitely, I know for a fact, like here, I'm based in California right now, and there's no way. You got to get in a car and do everything.
Have to have a car.
You got to have a car. So, yeah. So, to actually be able to walk to different, you know, I'm going to say tourist attractions, stuff to visit. I know the last time we talked, you said you went to Charleston City Market.
Yeah, I did. That was a really nice, it's just a lot of different vendors selling things.
Okay.
And it's got a little, right outside, it's a really downtown feel. So we stopped, at a couple restaurants, and I stopped somewhere to get dessert at a place. So it's just a little bit of everything down there.
Okay.
And from there, as not too far away, is the Battery, where that's where the fort is.
Okay.
You can see it.
Okay.
And all the historic mansions are lined up along the water.
Okay.
Gorgeous, just a really pretty, peaceful area to walk through.
Okay. Now, at any time, because I always stress, and I've stressed this in previous episodes as well, safety is first and foremost on any place I've ever went to by myself.
Right.
While you were out and just exploring the area, did you ever feel like you were not safe?
No, not once.
Okay. And that's one of the things, like I did get somebody say, you're always going somewhere. How do you know that that's even safe? And it's like, okay, just calm down. It's like you do your research of your area that you're going to be in, and that's where you go from there. So yeah. So I just did you get a chance to go to like the it's called the South Carolina aquarium? Did you walk past that, or did you go there?
I did not get to the aquarium.
Okay.
I didn't.
Yeah. I said if I ever go to Charleston, because like I said, I was excited for you going by yourself. Because like you say, you've traveled many places, but you've always been like with your husband Ed, and I call him Gummy Yum Yum, y'all, but his name is Grant. So they've traveled a lot of places as a family. So to see that you actually went to this state, another state, was just like absolutely awesome. So so was there, when you were deciding to take this trip, what were like your feelings? Like how did you feel about actually doing this without your family going with you?
I was a little nervous.
Okay.
Because we're not super structured with our vacations, but the kid kind of leads the sightseeing and whatnot.
Right.
We try to figure out the things he wants to do and would have fun doing, and the places he can go.
Okay.
So it was almost really fun to go somewhere like almost as a grown up.
Okay.
If I wanted to go sit at a bar and have a glass of wine, I could do that without having to worry about, well, I can't really take my kid to the wine bar.
Right.
So it was very different. And it was fun.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's that's good to hear, because that's one of the things, like, another thing I try to stress to people is, when you're planning a solo adventure, I don't care if it's within the state you live in or the country you live in, or you're just going outside of your comfort zone, as I say. There's going to be that nervousness along with the excitement and being scared. But it's like you tackle it and you say, okay, if you're going, once you say you're going to do it, go ahead and do it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was just like, like I said, between the three of us, I was like, look at Tiff trying to go out here and do something solo by herself. Go ahead, girl. You made my heart proud.
I need a break.
You need a break. Exactly. So had this been the only place you've gone, as far as like leaving the state where you're at? Is Charleston's the only place you've gone like solo so far, correct?
Ever?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, we came to New York.
That's true.
Well, it was kind of solo, but not. Oh yeah, I did come out there once to see you by myself.
Yep. I think you was out because I think you came to New York. You were there for like a week or something like that. Yeah. You know what? That's going to be another podcast story. Let me tell you, because we had an adventure. That's going to have to be something totally separate, just out the blue. Because her whole entire time in New York was hilarious.
Yes, our adventures. I've been to the DC area by myself. Okay. That sort of Delmarva area of Virginia, Washington, DC. Okay. Seen all the monuments. Okay. Where else? I've been to. I feel like I'm leaving something. I've been to Chicago by myself.
Chicago. I love Chicago.
So that's pretty much it, I think, as far as going solo.
Okay. Now, when you were in Charleston, I know on my trips, there's always that one or two things that just make the whole entire trip like just awesome. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite highlight or highlights of visiting Charleston?
I think it might have been. I mean, it sounds probably pretty basic, but I really enjoyed Waterfront Park.
Okay.
There's a pier. People are fishing. Okay. And people are super friendly. I don't know if it's that Southern thing.
Well, they say Southern folks they awfully friendly.
It just felt really good. I just sat there and just enjoyed the breeze off the water. And, was alone with my thoughts.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. So, I know by you doing this trip, would you ever do another solo trip? Just even if it's like for a few days by yourself going forward in the future?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. I think it was good for me and it was good for my family. Mm-hmm. They don't need mom to be burned out at home.
Exactly.
Resenting everybody.
Exactly.
So they noticed the difference as well. Okay. It was just so nice to just be somewhere and not have to do or be somewhere. Okay. Sleeping in when I felt like it. Getting up, eating what I wanted. It was just, like I said, it was a nice break from having to worry about other people and what they need.
Oh, that's awesome. And it sounds like you came back more refocused, more energized.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, like when I went, I just jumped in my car a while back and drove to San Diego, and it was just like just to de-stress from life. Right. Just to regain yourself for who you are, so that you can go forward and be a better Tiffany.
Absolutely.
So, a better wife, a better mom, a better coworker. Right. So, yeah. So finally, what would be your advice to anyone that's thinking about going somewhere by themselves, whether it's in their state, out of state, or out of the country? What would be your bit of advice?
I would say to start small and start close to home. If explore your area where you live. Exactly. If you're in the suburbs, go to the nearest big city downtown. Okay. See the sights there, because if you can't explore your own city and your own state first, you're not probably going to be ready to take a trip to China by yourself.
Exactly. Because that's a whole different ball game right there.
You're in a strange country where you don't speak the language. Exactly. And that's a nightmare. So you might find out you don't even like traveling that much. So you want to do that before you take a massive trip. Exactly. That you're kind of stuck.
You know what? I am so glad you said that. I had a coworker that says, "Oh, I want to travel out of the country." And I go, "Okay, well, first starters, do you have your passport?" "No." "Okay, well, you got to work on that." I says, where have you traveled here within the state of California?" And it was like crickets. And I said,
it's a big state. There's a lot to see. Exactly. In California.
And I go, "So what country would you like to go and visit?" And it's so crazy because the first country she actually said was China. I'm like, "Girl, no. You can't even adapt here."
Yeah, that's not a starter trip.
Exactly. So I'm going to play that advice that you just gave. I'm going to play that for her so she can rethink her life choices. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So,
and my other advice is to, when you do go somewhere, be present. Just
that part. Yes.
I feel like so many times people want those Instagrammable moments to take all these pictures. Yep. And you find that you were so into that you don't really remember being there.
Exactly.
Because you were so worried about showing other people your trip.
Exactly. Exactly. Because, and that's one of, I think, my biggest pet peeves is that you see people walk around and their face is in their phone. And it's like, you do know you just walked past the Eiffel Tower, right?
Right, you could have stayed home and did that.
Exactly. Do you even know the historical part?
Right.
So like you said, be present. Definitely be present. We're in the age now where, like you say, everybody's trying to take the best pictures of their plate of food or how they look in front of something. It's like, but you need to take it all in, literally. Right. And that's what I loved about your trip, is that you actually, even though you went for a women's retreat, you still was able to go out and just take it all in of the area surrounding. Because Charleston, South Carolina is historical.
Oh yeah, it's tons of history.
Yeah, you can't just go into that state and just fly in, fly out.
Right.
Because there's too much history around you. So, and that's what I love, that you actually were present. Yeah. No, just really, really quick, were there any other women that came to this retreat that actually ventured out by themselves as well?
Oh yeah. Okay. We all, I think it was an experience for all of us, because there were a couple people who were a little apprehensive because they hadn't gone anywhere alone.
Okay.
So yeah, there were several, but some people travel all the time. Yeah. We had one person who's she's from South Africa.
Oh wow!
So she's moved to Vancouver, and she got to see another part of come to the U.S. and see some things she hadn't seen before. So
that's awesome.
It was a great mix of ladies.
That's awesome. That is awesome, and it feels great when you get somebody that has come from that far. In a part of the world, and just to come here to the United States and just see something that's eye-opening for her. That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, I am so glad, Tiffany, we got a chance to redo
this. Please let it be recorded.
You know what? Because she already said, y'all, listen, she said, you better make sure you record it this time, because I'm not doing this again. but I got it. So
yeah, you just have to paraphrase everything.
I know, right? This time I think we're good. But I'm so glad that you were willing to come back on and share your experience of your solo chronicle going to Charleston. Well, my darlings, I hope y'all enjoyed this new episode of the new year again. I want to thank my guest Tiffany, my sister friend.
You're welcome.
For coming on and just sharing her experience. And I hope that this just inspires you to go out and just enjoy. Not if not your community where you're at, just venture just a little few steps outside of that community and just experience life. So I will talk to you in the next episode. Have a great rest of the day, my moonbeams. Bye.